Hello YouTube! Today's video is going to be about the Microsoft Surface Flex keyboard. I haven't seen a lot of videos about the differences between the standard Flex keyboard and its bold keyset variant, so we'll start with that. We'll then move on to the issues that I encountered with the keyboard and slim pen combo and my workarounds for them. Let's get stuck in. Starting off the left side here, you can see that the standard keyboard presents the letters in a very restrained manner. As expected, the letters are a lot more legible on the bold keyset variant. While they don't look weird at all, there's something about the use of extra large text on the tab, caps lock, control, and function keys that's just a little off for me. The biggest difference that Microsoft doesn't really talk about on their site, however, is the use of icons on special keys such as the left shift button here. Moving to the top row, you can see that the numbers and their respective alternate symbols are arranged vertically on the standard Flex keyboard. This contrasts with the bold keyset variant, where numbers and their alternatives are lined up diagonally. I find that this diminishes the clean look offered by the standard Flex keyboard. You'll also see the same thing going on with the top row functions. Function icons on both keyboards are the same, but the bold keyset version of the Flex keyboard uses icons for the page up and page down buttons, while the standard Flex keyboard uses traditional 4-letter labels instead. On the right side brackets and slashes, you see the same vertical versus diagonal contrast between the two keyboards. I find that the diagonal arrangement gives off a very cluttered vibe. Ironically, I think that legibility could have been improved on this diagonal and bold arrangement if Microsoft decreased the size of the symbols by a tick or two. You also see icons used on the enter and right shift button instead of conventional text. While both keyboards perform pretty much the same, with the bold typeface version giving an ever so slightly crisper feel on the keys, the type size difference yields a better backlight experience. The keyboard backlight passes through the print, and the thinner apertures on the standard keyboard's keys let a below average amount of light through. Depending on light levels, you might have to turn the keyboard backlight brightness all the way up just to keep the keyboard legible. The larger apertures on the bold typeface keyboard, on the other hand, keep things legible even at low brightness levels. You can certainly turn the backlight all the way up, but the practical benefit of this is not having to increase brightness levels to keep the same level of legibility, since you're not wasting power shining the light on each key's solid undersides. Moving on to the functional side of things, you've probably seen from other video reviews that the Flex keyboards have wireless typing capabilities. When detached, you can fold the front edge under itself for a more ergonomic typing experience. It's wide enough and stays rigid, so you can type away without having to worry about missed presses from surface flexing. It also provides a little grip so the keyboard doesn't slide around when you use it on a smooth surface. Once you're done using the Flex keyboard wirelessly, just hover the surface on top of it, and everything snaps together. The lower edge of the screen also serves as a magnetic mount, so you can prop the front of the keyboard up like this for ergonomics. Now, the cool thing about all of this is that even with a Flex keyboard attached, the Surface Pro won't run its own battery down trying to charge the keyboard. You can see here that the battery levels between the two stay roughly in sync. This makes total sense, since having a fully charged keyboard is no good when your main tablet laptop is out of juice. Same story goes when you plug the Surface Pro in to charge it. The system tries to keep charge levels between the Surface Pro and the Flex keyboard roughly the same when plugged in. Very smart. It's not all perfect when you pair it up with Microsoft's Slim Pen though. You can see here that the pen wakes up and connects even when it's docked on the Flex keyboard. The same thing happens even when you very slowly tilt the keyboard upwards like I do here. Depending on the apps you use, this makes for a very intrusive experience. In Microsoft Excel, for example, the interface would keep on switching to the Draw tab, which made it hard for me to actually concentrate on work that needs to get done. Now, the Microsoft Slim Pen is certainly handy when it comes to certain things. There's a quick shortcut button on the butt end of it that you can assign press, double press, and hold functions to, and that end conveniently serves as an eraser as well. Unfortunately, the constant and unnecessary waking and reconnections wasn't cutting it for me and my Surface Pro's battery life, so I chose to go with this Renaissance Slim Pen clone I found online instead. Unlike Microsoft Slim Pen, this stays asleep even when you move it around and doesn't turn on until you press this button right here. It writes the same as Microsoft's product and is tilt compatible too. I'll leave the link for it in the description below. In case you want to erase things, it has this dedicated button right here. Not as fancy as flipping the Microsoft pen around and erasing things like you're holding a pencil, but I'll gladly take the savings and better battery life instead, which nets me about $70 in savings once I return the standard Flex keyboard and pen combo. There's also a right-click button here so you don't have to long tap on things to call that function up. What you miss out on with this pen is the wireless charging. It uses USB-C instead. It nevertheless stows away nicely in the Flex keyboard's pen slot, automatically turning off after being idle for 10 minutes, regardless of detected movement. This next one's more of a personal thing. Coming from the Thinkpad world, I'm used to the page up and page down buttons being near the arrow keys, and the home and end keys being close to the upper right corner. The up and down keys on the Flex keyboard are spaced tightly, and I kept on hitting the wrong key as a result. The home and page up and page down keys are all lined up next to each other, which made locating them without looking at the keyboard difficult for me. I had no off-the-shelf way to get the standard Thinkpad layout on the Flex keyboard, so I got these textured stickers instead, carefully cutting them up to serve as locators on the keys that I was having trouble with. Not bad for a cheap fix. And there you have it, my quick Flex keyboard comparison and real-life usage experience. For now, anyway. If you found this video useful, do hit that like button below and consider subscribing as well. Maybe I'll find a way to make a Frankenstein wireless Thinkpad keyboard for the Microsoft Surface down the road. That should be a fun project. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.